Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo here on Wednesday, just turned afternoon, for more Monogatari. We have officially entered Monogatari second season, which is pretty hype. I've been hearing some good things about second season. A lot of people have said that some of their favorite Monogatari series moments come in this section, and there's a kind of a weird format to this season. It's not really a season; it's a group of seasons. It's a whole bunch of different shows. And starting us off with an interesting naming scheme transition from the last one is Nekomonogatari Shiro. So last time, as you all probably know, I watched all 4 episodes of Nekomonogatari Kuro, which is 4 episodes is like the maximum that I can really effectively do in one video, just in terms of like attention span, brain juice, ability to think for long periods of time. Plus just like length of video and size of files and dealing with all of that shit. Things go wrong when you get much longer than that. So 4 is about the maximum. Neko Shiro has 1 more episode. It has 5. So that's interesting. We're gonna definitely have to split it up. Probably into 2 and 3 or 3 and 2. I'm not sure which at the moment. We're just going to play it by ear. I'm going to see after the end of episode 2 if I feel up to watching a third one. We'll see. I've already watched Kanata no Astra and Dumbbell Non-Kilo this morning, so I've already lost some of the juice in my tank. So we'll see. We'll get through what we get through, but it'll take 2 weeks to get through Shiro. Now, there's something else interesting about this naming scheme, which like makes me really curious about what the contents are going to be. Once we had the first Nekomonogatari Kuro, that sort of like that sets the stage pretty clearly. Nekomonogatari, we're talking about cats. We're probably talking about Tsubasa. The fact that the arc itself is named Tsubasa Family confirms that. The fact that this arc is named Tsubasa Tiger also confirms that we're still talking about Tsubasa. Okay, great. The fact that it's Kuro, well, we've been talking about Black Hanakawa for a long time. Makes sense that we're going to be interacting frequently with the Black Hanakawa. Nekomonogatari Shiro as a name, though, that's a little bit different and a little bit like I don't know what to make of it. If Kuro is Black Hanakawa, then Shiro would be normal Hanakawa, right? But then, what's the story beat? Because, like, Aragi has never mentioned any events, as far as I can remember, between the experience of Black Hanakawa during Golden Week and Bake, when we actually, like, meet her again. And she has no memory of it. And then eventually it comes back. But, like, in between, as far as I know, it's kind of implied that Aragi and Tsubasa don't really meet in between. It's just like they're going to meet at the next school year in Bake when we see them do that. So, what do we do story beat wise? Is this going to be like just like in Aragi's interactions with normal Hanakawa that we didn't know about before? Or is it going to be something way weirder? I don't know. I have no idea. I figure we'll probably start just like normal with a scene set and like Aragi talking to probably one of the Fire Sisters, and then eventually coming to interact with Hanakawa again. But what time period are we in? I would expect it to be contiguous with Neko Kuro, but I don't know. This is just baseless speculation at this point. Let's stop doing that and start watching the video so that we actually have stuff to talk about. Okay? Okay. I figure that in some way this is going to retread some of the themes of Neko Kuro, because like why would you name 2 seasons or 2 sections of a season, I guess, that way, unless they were going to be dealing with some sort of similar concept. But what it's going to be, I don't know. I'm done. Let's start watching. I have the first episode of Neko Shiro up and ready to go. It is at 0 seconds. I have remembered to switch the subs from Kami to Cold Girls. If I forget again, I'm sorry, but I will try to remember. It's up. It's ready. There will be picture-in-picture versions of this reaction video up there with the video up there in the description. Timer-based version up on YouTube. Discussion at the end. BP timer at the beginning. If you want to sync up with your own version, that'll work. And BP timer goes here. right. So we went from a white. Wait. Voiceover from Hanakawa? Wait. Where's Araragi? We're not from Araragi's perspective? We're from Hanakawa's perspective? Are we retreading the same story beat? It's the same time. From a different... Oh. And this, it's like a robot, like on a track, running into obstacles. Did not acknowledge my name as something of my own. Okay. Her perspective. A cat, a tiger, and a person. A story of betrayal for you all to become disappointed. Okay, already instantly fascinating. I mean, instantly it's the most interesting start to a section because it's entirely different. The entire framing device of perspective from Araragi has just been thrown out the window. So, like, anything goes at this point. So we'll see her side of the story. This could be a lot darker than Araragi's side. Chocolate insomnia. Much cutesier vision of the cat form. So, perhaps the other side. Coming out of a box. Okay. Spreading her wings and flying. That's pretty on the nose. Okay. Tsubasa Tiger, Part 1. Tiger is still a cat, but bigger, more ferocious, more independent. Nobody uses each other's. There's no sharing in this family. There's no community. It's all separate. Eating alone. I finished my breakfast. Changed into my uniform. Left home right away. So, a day in the life of Hanakawa Tsubasa. So, will we interact with some of the... Oh, hi, Hachikuji. She doesn't know Hachikuji, does she? She didn't really show up. Okay, they have met. Yeah, where's your backpack? Yeah. That implies some things. Yes, it does. I missed that one. Ragi. Maybe he didn't leave home early? He hasn't yet returned. Wait, no, this is pre-Bake. I was like... yeah. And then just let that go. Alright. Okay. This is a Jojo style color swap. Whoa. So there was something besides the cursed cat? I'd be safe if I ran away. Why am I not running? But I am white. White and crystal clear. White lies of ignorance, almost as though we're recontextualizing the traditional use of white for purity. She's telling this to Senjo Gahara? Araso. No, it was a tiger. Where are we going? So is this not the same time frame? Because they both had their haircut. So I guess this must be later. This must be post Bake. Which means that maybe this is the day after. No? Laughed she. Made me shiver. True. Feasting eyes. And we saw that in the gaze of the camera. Have you ever asked him for help? Yes, he does. He sees a problem and he goes to try and solve it. She doesn't know about that, does she? Okay, so we're not in Golden Week. All right, it's not the same time frame. This is post Bake. That's an interesting statement. Hmm. I said it. Oh, I called that house my own. Huh. My house is on fire. The house without a room for you. Gonna sleep over with Senjo Kahara? Right. It's not like you had a room there anyway. Internal block, yeah. Ah, the cram school. So it becomes her refuge. Is Shinobu around? Or is she in Aragi's shadow? And where is Aragi? Okay, so you can stay here for a little while. Laundry. Even though I realize the contradiction. It's so typical of me. She's constantly self-critical. I don't think that's too strange considering what we know about your house. Did you? Wait, is that an indication of lost time? Like time when she's not herself? So is this Aragi? I assume it has to be. Hello. Oh. It's not. What's... What? Whoa, Senjo Kahara. What got you scared? Ow. Nani? Nani? You should have asked me. Yet it hurt a lot. Whoa. Whole lot. Oh my god. Oh. I wonder if we'll ever get to meet them. Nonchalantly. We have our own damage, yeah. Hmm. Mm. Oh, yeah, yeah. Let's just go to your place. Sounds fun. Let's have a little sleepover. No staples, please. Great. Mm. Cross the threshold. Hmm. That's an interesting statement. Especially the phrasing of it. My own home. Yeah, it's a weird thing to say when, from what we know, you haven't had a home. Yeah. Whew. Hmm? She doesn't? But the rules. Rules. Ha 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 ha. Crap, I got a little catch in my throat. Oh, what a shame. Dewa. Hmm. Second talk about lies. Please say it together. Hey. Uh, Sometimes it pays off. Just a little bit. Uh-huh. I don't believe that for a second. Hmm. I just want to see your naked body. Nothing else. Nothing weird. Senjoga Hara's character was changing. Hmm. Interesting. Kind of on the nose. Hmm. Hmm. Can't return home for a while, don't worry. Okay. That's pretty bad. Is it related to the missing backpack? Good question. I think it might, actually. Yeah, I think that would work. Does she have stripes on her body? Oh. Almost as though she does know. Ha. I don't think she stuttered. Eagerly stripped out of it. Okay. I answered without hesitation. Oh, is that the end? Oh, that was fast. So, big tiger. This is cool. Layers of paper sliding over each other. Oh, wow. Yeah, they've done the whole thing as though it's cutouts with the. I assume it's all digital, so I assume they're just drop shadows. It's really cool, though. I like, but also bicycle wheel esque. Now it's almost like a protractor. Your eyes aren't focused on me, so it makes sense that I'm anxious. Hanakawa Araragi. Senjogahara. Okay, should be a thingy here. Hello. Oh no. Hmm. That would suck. Okay, so I was waiting for like some kind of mention of the line that Hachikuji says. She says some line about like my episode with Araragi will be in the next title. Which I think implies that the speculation that whatever Araragi is dealing with has to do with her backpack is potentially correct. But it seems like that'll be the next arc. I wonder if that's the title of the next arc. Like it's Nekoshiro, but I don't know what the one after that is because I haven't downloaded it yet. Whoops. So let's begin at the framing device and the general conceit of the Monogatari series so far. Okay. One of the biggest and most like defining features of the Monogatari series thus far has been the perspective. We have been locked pretty solidly into a single person point of view, first person POV from Araragi. We basically don't know anything that he doesn't know, don't see anything that he doesn't see, don't experience anything that he doesn't experience until now. Now our perspective has swapped. Araragi is gone. Nobody knows where he is. So that gives us the perfect chance to do this. And we switch to Hanekawa's perspective. Now, my immediate initial thought when we switched to Hanekawa's perspective was, oh shit, because it's the same name, what we're going to do is we're going to rehash Golden Week, but from Hanekawa's perspective. I'm wrong about that. That's clearly not what we're doing. That's not it. We're post Bake. I believe we're post Nisei. So only Nekokuro is the prequel. Now we're back to timeline. Okay, cool, great. That means that we're not rehashing events. So then the next thing that we need to talk about is, oh shit, what do we start? Where do we go from here? The tiger or the Roomba? Let's start where they chose to start, with the Roomba. So the way we open on this scene is almost as though it's the Roomba speaking, as though we're intended to associate her voice with this robotic cleaning device. I don't know how to read into that too much, but there's something here, something about the Roomba that is autonomous, but also just like it's stuck in the room. It just does its one thing until it hits a wall, and then it turns around and goes back the other way and keeps going until it's done. It follows like a path. There's something interesting about that. I don't know if it's intentional thematic stuff, but I feel like there's intent in the way that we hear her voiceover, and we see POVs from the Roomba multiple times as it zips around and cleans her place. And at the same time, she's waxing philosophical about her surname, her name, and her sense of identity. All things that serve as symbolic gestures toward all the stuff that we know about Hanekawa and her family now. Only then will I be able to define who I am for the first time. And then she gives us sort of a note to the reader. This is a story meant to offset what you've been told, to offset the skewed perceptions that Araragi has, that I'm some glorious saint. I'm nothing of the sort. And we know that Hanekawa doesn't see herself that way. It's an interesting like character construction. In fact, I'd say it's even the cornerstone of her character, is that the way she presents herself to the world and the actions that she make other people view her as incredible and saintly, but within she has self-doubt, self-criticism. She does not see herself in that light at all. In fact, I think she'd be more apt to say the opposite. Like, absolutely not. This is a story of betrayal for you all to become disappointed in me, which implies she's the one doing the betraying, but to whom? Given the setup in this first episode, my guess would be Senjo Gahara, in some sense, because of the care that has been shown by Senjo Gahara toward Hanekawa. If there's anything that could be betrayed thus far, I'd say it's that, but I don't know. So this is Hanekawa's story from Hanekawa's perspective, and it's going to be different from what we expect. Okay. Interesting. We have a very chocolate-themed opening theme song. Lots of boxes. Lots of chocolate. Lots of Hanekawa being very cute. Little cat creatures. Some interesting stuff. When she turns into a cat form, there's this light, this tiny flash where her hair turns white, right there. And the cat ears come in and then they stay, but her hair turns back to black, as though she's gained some element of the Neko, of the cat, but has retained her individuality, her personality. So perhaps this is the integrated form. Because the cursed cat always had a point. It always had a point. Like, her repression of stress, her repression of her own desires is unhealthy. She has to be able to go out and say what she wants, ask for the things that she needs. And that's something that else that's also touched on a little bit later in the episode, when Senjoku is talking about helping without asking for help, Aragi's willingness to do that. So maybe this is that story. Because we've also talked about Araragi is changing. He's starting to send texts to let people know he's all right, let people know where he is. Senjoku is changing. I think it's Hanakawa herself who mentions that Senjoku has changed. But Hanakawa hasn't changed yet. Not really. Part of that is because she's forgotten her memories of the thing that would cause her to change. But the way that this OP is set up, it's as though she gains some aspect of the cat, but she's still herself. So maybe that is the meaning of the white cat. And then there are all of these scenes where she sort of indulges in cat-like joys. Like, she follows this moon ball or whatever it is around like a cat, right? And then later she's like resting on a stool, just chilling, playing with a ball. And then in the most on-the-nose visual in the OP, she climbs out of the box that currently contains her while in aspect ratio problems. Do not hit the A key while watching stuff in VLC. And then she gains wings. She's no longer Neko, though. That's all in the background. And she is almost like being beamed up by this streak of light that comes down. Spreads her angelic wings, almost saint-like, fitting into that idea. So I'm gonna just, like, conjecture theme that for Hanakawa, like, how do I phrase this? Willingness to step outside of her comfort zone is the thing that frees her, but it's also the thing that actualizes her and makes her into the angel that Araragi sees her as, for real. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. The other thing is that, like, perhaps the betrayal that she performs, assuming that that's accurate and not a misdirect in any way, perhaps the betrayal that she performs is framed as something where she feels guilty about it, but the person who she betrays is proud of her for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, consider Senjoku is telling her about willingness to ask for help. The betrayal is that she asks for help on something to Araragi without Senjoku knowing. She thinks that Senjoku will hate her for it. Senjoku is proud of her for stepping outside of her comfort zone and asking for help when she needs it. Something like that. Probably not that specific rundown, but does that make sense? I think that could work. I'm entirely prepared to be surprised, though. Okay, so we open on Hanakawa's house, and there's one, like, thematic thing here that is reminiscent of the statement that, like, Hanakawa, there's no room for Hanakawa here. Or previous statements we've had about places of living that inform our understanding of the character. And in this case, it's doubling down on our understanding of this house. There's something so strange and creepy about a kitchen with lots of cooking utensils where everybody uses their own utensils. Nobody is willing to use, like, if you use this knife, I'm not going to use that knife. There's a level of inefficiency born from contempt that's ridiculous. It's like, well, it would be so much more efficient to just all use one knife, right? As long as we're not using it at the same time. And it seems there's an implication that like nobody ever enters the same room together in this house. Nobody ever sees each other. They all stay as distant as possible. So it's not like one person is going to be using a pan and someone else can't use that pan. It's that they won't, that they refuse because they hate each other, because they don't get along. It's an amazing way of demonstrating this unwillingness to work together, unwillingness to be a family unit. Really, really intriguing. Really good writing. It works. It's so far onto the opposite of cliche. I was watching some videos yesterday about cliche versus tropes and stuff like that. But what this is this is such a novel way of expressing a concept that it forces you to imagine it. And that's the thing about a cliche, is that when you see or experience a cliche, you don't experience it and like think it through. So the example in one of the videos that was used was like, when you hear the phrase, he snapped his head around like a deer in the headlights, you don't actually think, whoa, like a deer in the headlights? Wow, that must mean he's really afraid and has actually like seized up that moment of pure terror, like a deer that can't help themselves in the middle of the road and they're afraid of that they're about to get hit. But because they've frozen, they're going to get hit because of this response. How crazy. Yeah, we don't do that when we hear a cliche. We hear snapped head around like deer in the headlights. Oh, he's real surprised, right? It just sort of like flows off of us, because when a cliche becomes embedded into our consciousness, the same way that a meme does, it becomes a single word instead of a phrase. It becomes scared instead of snapped his head around like a deer in the headlights. So when you move away from the cliche entirely and throw it away and use something novel, like instead of saying we didn't get along, we hardly saw each other, anything about the way that they interact, it's our house has lots of utensils because everyone has their own set. You're forced to think about that. You're forced to think about the ramifications of it and the reasons behind it. And so it's real. It works. It digs into you and like has an effect because you have to imagine it. And even in animation, when a lot of it is given to you in the visuals, you still have to imagine it because it's an emotional statement. It's an explanation of a state of mind that's shared amongst this family. And so you have to backtrack from it in your own head and go, what brought them to this point? Why are they like this? What makes a person like this? Makes it fascinating. Anyway, I just wanted to give that some of what I think it's due. So I wonder if these numbers are chapters in the light novel. I assume they must be. The little shake that it does is interesting. It's almost like it's almost uncontained. That was the feeling that I got from it. I don't know. It's like it's static and then there's just a little shiver of something off or something buried. It's interesting. So she narrates her beginning the morning, runs into Hachikuji. They have an interesting conversation. The whole framing of this conversation is intriguing. I guess it's just meant for realism. But like, do we ever cut to Hanekawa when she's down on her knees like this? We do. It felt when I was watching this like there was a weird use of low versus high angle shots on Hachikuji and Hanekawa, but I don't think so. I think they're all just like pretty standard shots for characters of differing heights. Like we're doing a low angle shot onto Hanekawa because Hachikuji's so much shorter than she is, and high angle shots onto Hachikuji because Hanekawa is so much taller than she is. And then I thought something weird happened when she got down on her knees, as though we were like not looking down on her the way that Hachikuji would be, because we see this wide of the two of them. So now our angles are reversed, which is potentially symbolic of a change in the flow of the conversation, but I don't think so. Because, like, what would be the symbol? What would that symbolize? I don't know. My episode with him will be in the next title. Stop the blatant foreshadowing. So, okay, there's an example of a weird one. Like, here, this low angle shot, this is more accurate, right? Because Hachikuji is far away and below her. But then, once Hachikuji does this thing, which is totally non-diegetic, right? Of course, she doesn't actually have sparkles and stars and hearts behind her. We're in a high angle shot down on Hanakawa. It's interesting. I wonder if it's just for the punchline. I don't know what effect it has. Okay, so then we have a JoJo style color swap. Some tiger stripes, and then boom. Tiger. Alright, so we've got a big boy tiger oddity. Big long tail. Turns and looks at her. Real scary. She muses, why am I not running? I would be safe if I just ran. And then it appears that this tiger speaks. As far as I know, besides the vampires, this is the first speaking oddity that we've had that hasn't like already been bonded with a character. Of course, the Neko, Black Hanakawa, could speak, but it was using her body, right, to do so. Crab never spoke. Nothing else has ever spoken, let alone appeared outside of a ritual or an explanation. So this, to just run into an oddity in the middle of the street, to have it appear before you, and to have it speak to you. To speak to you as though it sees through you. So white. White lies of ignorance. She steps back, it gets closer, and then it just walks by. Slowly. But I am white. The cat doesn't say this, right? We don't know who says this. Is this Hanakawa answering in the affirmative? Or it must be because of the butt. But I am white. Okay. Then I think immediately after we get white pigeons. Red flags. White pigeons. White pigeons, white title cards. Okay, my immediate thought, and I mentioned this during the reaction, was that, like, white as a symbolic color is a pretty straightforward one. Purity, naivete, innocence. But white as representative of white lies, that's something else. That's almost the polar opposite of that innocence. That's faking it. It's pretending innocence. And it reveals a black heart. Actually, does it though? Because when you put that into the context of faking it that we've talked about before, then if you're outwardly portraying yourself with honesty and purity and innocence, then that's what you're striving toward. And even if inside you don't see yourself as that shell, others do, and it becomes real to them. Hanakawa, as a white pure saint, is real to Araragi. In the same way that an oddity is real to one who believes in it. There are weird layers here. I don't know. There's also something interesting about it being a tiger, given that the tigers bear outwardly both of their colors. So in this case, we have a like white and red tiger, or white and neon, almost purpley pink. But like, it's not a solid color. It's bearing both on the outside, as though it's accepted both parts of itself and is willing to show them to the world. So if we consider Hanakawa as like a a white chocolate shell with a dark chocolate interior, then a tiger would be scraping off little bits of the white to let some of the darkness show through, which I think fits in well with like ideas of self-actualization and integration with your internal self. Becoming comfortable with what's inside and not having to put a facade on in every way, but still being able to use the facade when it's necessary, being able to show both sides to be gray. But in this case, it's not gray, it's mottled black and white. Because they don't blend into one another, they're separate, but still a part of the same person. This is interesting. This is interesting. Also, some crazy use of color in this whole sequence. The blues, the pinks, the whole color swap that we go through, the yellow sky. Very cool. Very JoJo's. But more, you know? More. Birds flying high. Alright. So, she's talking to Senjo Gahara. Met a tiger. We have some banter. Some goofy bits. Senjo Gahara's character design has changed slightly. I'm not sure what it is. I think there's something different about the way that they're drawing her face. But I don't know. Because I'm dumb. Alright, so Aragi's missing. Yeah, I don't know how to combat it. Don't possess any more knowledge. But you are here, so just gonna talk to you. Yeah, oof. Get a little poke at Aragi there. Almost as though he heard her. It's great. Or as if he was like sneezing. Alright, met Mayoi-chan. Seems he's up to something right now. Calls and texts aren't going through. But then, yeah, he will never consider relying on you. Bothersome. Ah, this is the sequence where she's, what was it? Hungry eyes? She's hungrily gazing at her. It's interesting. It's interesting. Because we don't understand Senjo Gahara's motivations for this. Is she sizing up Hanekawa's arrival? It's possible. But it doesn't seem to be. She's not gay. She said that repeatedly. I'm not like Kambaru. She's just curious. Just interested. I feel like the sizing her up as a rival thing makes the most sense. But I don't know. But I don't know. Yeah. So her gaze travels all over Hanekawa. Feasting eyes, even better. She turns away. Have you ever said help me to Aragi-kun? I haven't either. He helps us before we have the chance to. That is his nature. But that's what makes this so interesting, because he's not here. Perhaps you're expecting him to help you before you say anything. He's always wanted that. He has. If he'd been able to do that back during Golden Week and then she catches herself. If something happens, don't think about trying to solve it alone, so get me involved. That seems like it'll be the plan. Then we notice her house is afire. And the implication is that the tiger is responsible. White lies of ignorance. So, in burning down her house, it's as though the tiger is, like, attempting to force Hanekawa, well, literally outside of her box. Oh, that makes sense. Force her literally outside of her box, the home that is not her home, which forces her to reevaluate her own identity, which she was already doing, and forces her to try and determine what a home is to her and what a family is to her. she can't be complacent about it. And because we've removed Araragi from the picture, she can't just rely on him to come in and swoop in and save the day either. It seems like a situation where Hanakawa really does need to fix Hanakawa's problems. Because nobody else is going to do it for her. Burning down the house. Burning down the house. Thanks, Talking Heads. So, despite not really having an identity there or feeling like you belong there, once it's removed, it's still a shock to the system. So she immediately decides that she will go to the abandoned cram school and live there for a while. And then we jump from chapter 7 to chapter 9, and I have no idea why. I felt like we slept soundly. Did I just skip a chapter? Yeah. And you made sure we were aware of it, too. What are you doing? What are you doing, Oisin? Like, what dis? I expect that we will see this chapter eventually. Perhaps we'll get more skip chapters. My immediate thought was that this implies a period of time when Hanakawa is not Hanakawa. But at the same time, she's going to sleep at this moment. But at the same time, we know that Black Hanakawa functioned while she was asleep, right? So, I don't know. This implies split personality to me. Or something taking over her. Lost time. Losing an entire chapter. Something else about the way that we go from Shiro into Kuro frames. It's interesting. I don't know what to make of it. So then we get a figure coming in, and I think it's intended to look kind of like Araragi, but it is, in fact, Senjo Gahara, and she is absolutely super emotional. Some really crazy shots of Senjo Gahara. She really cares. She really does care. Also, this shirt that she's wearing, or this like outfit that she's wearing, is so weird. Is her under top like are they matching? So that the pocket is the same fabric as the undershirt, or instead of a pocket, does her overshirt just have a hole in it? Anyway, super emotional moments. She smacks the shit out of her. It didn't hurt, yet it hurt a lot. Yeah. Is forced to apologize. I will never forgive you. I get it now. What is this timer? Is this the time spent waiting for someone to pick up the phone? I don't know. So, Senjo Gahara spent all night looking for her, all night trying to help her, trying to make sure she was safe. If you resist anyway, I'll go soon. No more dare. So we go home. Why she says this, I don't know. I think it factors into the whole let's take a shower together sequence. But whoosh. Let's call this a whoosh moment. Actually, I think most of that is a whoosh moment. I do not understand Senjo Gahara's desire to see Hanakawa naked. Unless it's just playing with the trope and the expectation that we will end up seeing them shower together. Because as soon as Senjo Gahara said, "I'm going to take a shower," I'm like, they're going to shower together. So maybe this is just Oisin having a laugh, being like, "Yep, of course everybody expects them to shower together, so they're going to, and they're going to make a non-justification for it because that's the joke." It seems totally possible. So then we see the house burning, the Roomba burning. Former associations with Hanakawa, I think. But I don't know. Initially, Hanakawa was kind of freaked out by Senjo Gahara just sort of stripping in front of her. Senjo Gahara does some dope JoJo's poses here. There's one. Yeah, there are some dope poses. Oh, that one. Yeah. That's some Josuke shit. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Glorious. Then she calls into school, does an I'm sick thing. It's interesting. This is a white lie, isn't it? It is. Also, I didn't notice any specific signage in the room. Usually when we have like Aragi in the room, there are specific signs behind his head that say something about the thing. These are probably those. These two here are probably those, but they're not translated, so. Actually, let me switch to the Kami subtrack and see if they're translated. Just for fun, right? They're not. Shit. Well, okay. So... oh yeah, there's, what was that thought that she had? Hanako had a thought. It was displayed in multiple cards, and it just slipped my brain. I'm just gonna fast forward really fast. That way I don't get copyright. Rules. That's what it was, of course. Rules, rules, rules. Rules, rules. I want to follow the rules because they're the rules. Again, this is kind of like the Roomba on a track. It operates on a system of rules, right? If hit obstacle, turn, continue until hit obstacle. Simple stuff. Following the rules. Locking yourself into a way of being that allows you to pretend like you're okay. But really, you have no autonomy. Maybe. Sound effects, some great jokes. Good jokey jokes. Let's go take a shower together. Yep. And then we have the ED, which is lyrics-wise really on the nose. It's really straightforward, right? Hello? VLC? Alright, VLC crashed. We can just talk about the ED. Lyrics are pretty on the nose. Some stuff about like inability to express yourself, but unwillingness to give up what you feel. Makes sense for Hanako. Alright, let's get into the next episode. Nekoshiro episode 2. Okay, I have Nekoshiro episode 2 up and ready to go. Coal Girls swap complete. And we've got our first Shiro card, and it is chapter 12. I'm not sure that we left off on 11. I think we did. So I don't think we've skipped one in between, but we might have. Our girls were just about to take a shower together. That's it. Let's see if it happens. It's up. It's 0 seconds. Timer. Okay. Sure. Who is Senjoko Hara's boyfriend and my friend. Oh? Why? So he was doing this even before vampirism? Fairly legal something. He fought the law. Oh my god, these are all fast. Okay. Okay. And he's notably absent from this whole sequence. Hell, probably from the whole everything. Okay. Pouring dark chocolate through white. White and black half and half. And then it splits. shatters into shards. Timer or an alarm? Black and white down the middle again. A castle, a home. Just simply wait for the prince's kiss, so get out there, go and get it. Yeah, waiting for him to help you. Instead of going and asking for what you desire. And a streak of white in the middle of darkness. With cats in the background. Oh, whoa. Yeah. Yeah. What is with that? Hanekawa's eye? Gosh. It's like the Undertaker sitting up. Yeah, you guys went to sleep in the morning. Aw, we didn't get to see the shower. Darn. Oh. Yay! Praise Shaft. Literally sheer weight. Right. Half an hour of fun in the shower. It's a long time. Oh. Mm-hmm. I mean, you already had a half an hour of fun in the shower, so I will use you as my body pillow. So that was the point the whole time, eh? What's the opposite of an Oedipus complex, right? It is pretty frank. I don't know if there's like a kanji wordplay there. There probably is. Like a readability option. Hmm. Huh. So the Roomba not as her, but as her only. Whoa, did we just skip another chapter? No, we didn't. I don't think. Couple of them. I don't know what a moyashi is. Mung bean sprouts with sweet sesame sauce. Okay. So now she eats with someone else. Both in love with Araragi. Yep, exactly. Oh my, how bad mannered of me. She's so forward. Smart. The opposite. Mm. Can't stay forever. Mm. Hmm. Stay over at the Araragi household with. Oh, they'll be like that. Yeah, it kind of did. Just a little bit. Whoa, 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 whoa. Uh-huh. I thought so. Alrighty. 8 and 13. So what happened during 8? That was your fault? You did that? caused a catastrophic shock to my master's spirit. So it wasn't you? It wasn't her. Right. Righto. Cut off. Not for a second did I hate her. Alright? What's she looking for? Aragi? Oh, she's so cute. Hi, Tiger! Okay. Okay. That, but... she got very strong because of her particular host. Maybe just odd stories, not oddities? Okay. Same type. Wow, the foreshadows. Hmm? Oh, okay. Yeah. Another side. So it's already been... It's already done, huh? Whoa. So, just seeing the tiger is enough of a transgression? Hello. And you took away her pillow. Kind of. Hmm. Oh, right. Something to that. Something Hedgehog's Dilemma. Oh. Because she's been remaining as Black Hanakawa for a much longer time. And Senjogahara is unlikely to indicate that to her. Will she tell her? Ah, rough. Couldn't tell her? What? Huh? Stacking all the bottles up. Now, what is this weird interrogation? The questioning begins. Hmm. Never any flavoring. Hmm. It's almost as though she's questioning her ability to do the same blend tasks over and over. It's just the way she's always done it, right? This is a statement about the way she lives her life. Brilliant. The cat's been out of the bag for a while, indeed. Huh. I wonder what implications that has for their taste in men. Hmm. Hmm. Black and white. No, that's not it. Because you would need that and more. Or were you just accepting? Accepting whatever came your way with a flat. Yeah. Alright, let's pay attention to the lyrics. I will convey my feelings my own way. To match the excitement of my heart. Say without fear my true feelings. Hmm? You haven't been waiting for her. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. Can't spend the night out there alone. You're a girl. She's got a girl's body. She got used to being touched. Okay. Look at another episode. Lots of things happened. Alright, Shiro frames into Kuro frames. Hanakawa opens with talking about how she knew who Araragi was beforehand, and making statements that Araragi was doing weird shit even before he was doing weird shit, even in his junior high days, which is interesting. So the Fire Sisters are kind of following in his footsteps. And she says that she has been in love with him for a very long time. Okay. Cool. Exactly when did it start? My reminiscences. So then we get the OP. Again, boxes, split frames, black and white, white within black, black within white. Lots of interesting use of color. Lots of interesting stuff. Stuff with the cat, stuff with everything. I don't know. So, in this episode, we have it revealed to us that all of the skipped chapters are chapters where we were right. Yes, the Black Hanakawa cat is taking over, and so she has no recollection of the time she spends in that state. So we go back, we check in, and we see what those chapters are. And then when we get these blinks, it's Hanakawa's eye, right? Yeah, Hanakawa's eye. Not even Araragi could keep this sleeping face to himself. Which I guess implies that she knows that they've slept together. You know? I feel like that was implied a little earlier when she was talking about how much they seem to have changed. But anyway. So then we wake up, and last night we did a shower thing. Now, one thing that's interesting about the shower thing is that the dialogue is so interesting and important that you're hardly paying attention to the visuals that are going on here. They're not the focus of the scene. The focus of the scene is the dialogue. This is just window dressing, which is an interesting way to shoot to shoot a fan service sequence, which it is, and it very clearly implies some stuff. I mean, 30 minutes of playing around in the shower implies a serious lesbian experience. It just does. Half an hour of fun in the shower, then feeling refreshed, we went to the dressing room. She makes fun of her, like, sweatpants. I don't know. So then we're talking about the hair growing out, which is interesting because they both cut their hair at rather similar times. So a decision to grow your hair out would be, you know, assuming that Senjougahara doesn't make the same decision, that would be a thing which splits them and separates them. Could be interesting. Conversation about futons and stuff. Rest assured, I won't lay a finger on you. I don't understand why this makes her able to understand why she's able to date Araragi. I swear I won't use you as a body pillow. I don't get it. It's kind of a whoosh. I guess the joke is that she does use her as a pillow, like immediately after. Cause like, who wouldn't? What is this purple frame? Oh, down-filled futon, right. She calls her that instead of Hanakawa. I assume it's a kanji rereading, or like way of reading, but don't really know. So, we wake up again. She says this line, which does make it sound like pillow talk. It implies things, you know? It's interesting. Breakfast, no lunch. Okay, she's talking about... Or does she talk about going on jogging here? No, she does not. She talks about moyashi, bean sprouts, stuff like that. We talk about cooking. There's a clear divide between the way that they cook. Senjougahara is cooking for someone else. Our taste in food and in men. And this becomes sort of the theme of the episode, which is an interesting one. Why don't we tell each other what parts of our Araragi we like? Nah, that'll just inflate his ego. Probably not the best idea. Brilliant. And then, okay. Why don't we talk about what parts of him we detest? And then the line from Hanakawa after this. Notta. Is interesting. Because on a surface level, what she's saying is, I'll take that option for this conversation that we're having. Let's have that conversation. But given the context that it's in, let's talk about the things about Araragi that we detest. And then Hanakawa says, I'll take it. As though, if there's any part of Araragi that you don't like, I'll take the scraps. They're mine. I'll settle. You know? I don't know why I got that vibe, but that's the vibe that I got from this sequence. With the hard cut of the audio in there, yeah, that's the feeling that I get. And then we cut away completely so that there's nothing, it's just left up to us. Alright, time to talk about the future. I mean, your future. You can't stay here forever. My dad's coming home. It's gonna be awkward. Alright, so what do? We've got about a week to spare. So she comes up with an idea, but I'm not sure what idea she ended up coming up with, actually. And then that night, Black Hanakawa awakens. It's always been interesting to me that Black Hanakawa is white. And in fact, glowing, bright. The polar opposite of her name. It's interesting. And then normal Hanakawa is black of hair. Always been intriguing to me, but I don't understand it. So, yes, that is what has been going on. And my immediate thought was, oh shit, was the burning fire thing the cat's doing, the metal cat's doing? And no, it was the inciting incident. It's the thing that caused the shock. Interesting. So, when she met the tiger in episode 1, and the tiger talked about white lies, was it talking about the contradictions within her that are what births Black Hanakawa? The stress and repression? the lie of being okay with all of that? Perhaps. Third appearance. Meow. Yeah, so quick re-explanation of who Black Hanakawa is from her own perspective. This way, maybe this way, and she is on the hunt for the tiger. Also, she's super cute. For the second time, we have telephone wires. Wait, no, where'd they go? There they are. Telephone wires, very distinctly put in the background of the shot of the sequence where she meets up with Hanakawa, with the tiger. They were there in the first episode. That scene, there were the flags on the ground, the yellow sky, and the telephone wires in the background in almost every shot. Here again, they are in the background against the sky. Now, I mean, telephone wires in anime have a long and storied history of background symbolism, from Lane and the Wired and the constant hum of them. They've always hinted at unease, hinted at technological dystopia, hinted at the scary parts of connecting, which I think is what they're used for here. The difficult parts of connecting. Basically a metal cat. Not quite. We've hashed this out a couple of times. The cursed cat or metal cat that has possessed Hanakawa is more her than it is another entity, and has more merged with the side of her and become her shadow more than anything. The outlet for her unspoken, her private desires. So, she basically says, I'm not going to get in your way, but don't fuck with my master, or I'll kill you. And this tiger cat says, no. She saw me. That's what matters. That's the trigger. Seeing me means it's over. You can't hold back the traits of aberrations. The problem lies in those that can see them. Master saw me. That's all that matters, and then he attacks. So, he attacks, she flees, and he's there. Murada. She saw me. She saw me, so I've already started taking action. It's almost like a moment of self-realization. I don't have a specific example for this, but imagine you've deluded yourself about something important in your life. For example, I'll come up with a specific example. Your hobby is playing music, piano, for example. And you play and you play and you play and you practice and practice and practice, but you do it all alone and you're all self-taught. And you come to this conclusion in your head that you're a genius, that you're so good at it. Then you get invited out to a piano concerto. And you see a real master. You hear a real master play. And suddenly there's a crack in this delusion that you've set up around yourself. And once it's there, all it can do is get wider. You can't get that thought out of your head, that realization that I'm not what I thought I was. That moment of seeing the concerto is kind of like the moment of seeing the tiger. You saw the crack in your own armor, and now all you can do is tear it open and see what's inside. Or it'll tear itself open. In this case, the tiger will act on its own to ensure that you see everything. That's sort of the vibe that I get from it. And I don't mean literally within the story, I mean in a meta sense. Because that's the whole point, right? It's the whole point of this Monogatari series. Was being intriguing on the meta level. I think these couple episodes already have been in a number of interesting ways that I've talked about. But I feel like this section is just gonna get better. Like, if this is the setup, then man, the payoff. There's the help that I think it helps that Nekokuro doesn't have a huge payoff, because all the tension from Nekokuro kind of feeds into this, especially when you're watching it so soon after. All of that tension and intrigue around Hanakawa feeds into this unique story, even within the unique Monogatari series, from Hanakawa's perspective, dealing with her own interpersonal or internal conflicts, interacting mostly with Senjo Gahara. Yeah. Um. Hmm. I just had an interesting thought. Do any of the previous seasons pass the Bechdel test? Now, if you don't know, and you probably do, the Bechdel test is a simple test in filmmaking, and it's just a simple, it poses a simple question: do two female characters it has to do with like writing women. Do two female characters in the show discuss something other than a man? I think there are other stipulations for it. Let me check. I'll find the exact thing. Measure the representation of women in fiction. It asks whether a work features at least two women who talk to each other about something other than a man. The requirement that the two women must be named is sometimes added. So, yeah, it's a well-known, almost a trope in itself as a critical thing. In any previous season, do two female characters speak to each other at any length about anything besides Araragi? Nothing like pops into my mind, which would make this the first season that does that by removing Araragi from the scene. Hell, there hasn't been a male in the scene or in the season besides the tiger, has there? Any kind of male character. Which I guess says something interesting about the world, because besides Senjo Gahara's father, I don't know that we've ever met any other male characters. Oh, of course we have. Oshino. Duh. Kaiki. Duh. I'm an idiot. Okay. But they're not present now. Oshino, the mentor father figure, left. Like, he left the void for Araragi to fill. He did a classic death of the mentor thing. And Kaiki is gone or absent most of the time anyway. So the world of the show is essentially devoid of masculinity, except as represented by Araragi. That's kind of interesting. So removing him from the picture is super interesting, because it's not just removing our main character; it's removing the entire element of the male. And in a sense, with him gone, Senjo Gahara sort of steps into that role, acting as our inciter for the fan service scenes, the showering, as usually when our camera like wanders over the bodies of the female characters, it's because we're in Araragi's perspective. But the time when it does that here is when Senjo Gahara is looking at Hanakawa with feasting eyes. She's sort of embodying that. Like, her change is to become almost more androgynous in terms of like motivations and actions taken as a character. It's really interesting. In the absence of Araragi, she's playing his role. But of course in a very different way, because she's a different character, a different person. Huh. Huh. So, let's continue just scrolling through. Black Hanakawa returns. Senjokara is waiting, addresses her as Black Hanakawa, reaches out her hand for a handshake and is refused because of the energy drain process. Black Hanakawa doesn't want to harm her, it seems. But she says, no, do it anyway. And there's something interesting in that. It fits with a lot of the themes of the show. Reaching out and being friends with people means giving up something of yourself. It is a sacrifice, right? And it can weaken you. In this case, it's very literally weakening you. By reaching out and clasping hands with Black Hanakawa, Senjogahara is letting energy be drained from her. Very explicit. But she's also gaining something. She's gaining the ability to converse with Black Hanakawa, as friends. And what we experience is a 3-chapter skip. So, all of this time is time spent with Hanakawa as Black Hanakawa and Senjogahara with her, doing something. But we don't get to know what. At least not yet. VLC just broke. Thanks, VLC. Okay. So I think it's interesting that she's willing to give up some energy to make friends. Again, kind of taking Araragi's role. So she says she's going out jogging after Hanakawa wakes up as herself. And Senjogahara keeps it from her and looks very tired because, well, yeah. You seem tired. There are more cards after this. I like to run when I'm tired. Just make some breakfast while you're out jogging. And that allows Senjogahara to see the way that she cooks. Black coffee, plain bread, plain eggs, plain bacon, plain salad. No spice in her life. And it's a representation of the way that she lives, right? Almost automatic. There's a blandness to it. Now, this I kind of relate to because I eat pretty much the same thing every day. But I eat rather plainly in general. Same thing with I have for a long time. Early in high school, I dropped sugar entirely. Just stopped eating any kind of processed sugar of any kind. Dropped sugar. Dropped a lot of seasonings, sauces, stuff like that. And just became okay with eating plain stuff. Doesn't bother me. But here it's being used as a representation of an attitude toward the world and toward the way you live your life. Hanakawa's attitude. Take what comes. Now there's an admirable side to that kind of stoicism, but it also means that you're not charting your own course or making choices. You're just allowing things to flow into you as you don't move anywhere. Sort of letting the world come to you instead of going out to it. Which is also kind of a call to the thing that's mentioned in the OP, where it's like a princess shouldn't just be waiting for her prince to come give her a kiss. She should be going, and then that's followed up by the visual of her leaving the box. So the bland food is symbolic of this kind of box that she puts herself in. Go to school, follow the rules, do this, do that, do that, do this. It's all one complex, one psychological issue, fed by multiple sources of damage and trauma. Interesting. So she interrogates her about it and comes to some conclusions. The idea that your tastes in food completely envelop my tastes, paired with the earlier statement about our tastes are similar, so our tastes in men are also similar. It's like saying that it didn't need to be Araragi for you. It could have been anyone who saved you, but it needed to be Araragi for me. My taste is more specific. I think that's interesting and a cool sentiment. I also think it makes sense. And I think that you could extend that into an argument of sorts that because my taste is specific, I'm more worthy, perhaps, or it's a better option. For example, like if you've got a bunch of sushi and only one of them has soy sauce on it, and Senjogahara won't eat unless there's soy sauce on it, and Hanakawa doesn't care either way, then to give Hanakawa the soy sauce covered sushi a waste because she doesn't gain any increased pleasure from it, no extra utils from it, whereas Senjoku Hara would gain extra utils from it. Does that make sense? So Hanakawa just needs a prince. Senjoku Hara has the prince. It's a matter of specificity, which I guess leads to priority. That's interesting. Oishi's got a lot of ideas for this one segment. It's like a lot of ideas. Maybe that's just because we've gotten to the point where we understand enough about the characters and the show that we can build second level ideas, right? So first level is like the basic stuff. And then you can take the basic stuff and use it as components for the second level of stuff and create more complicated ideas. In the same way that phrases can become like words that are cliches, we can boil down individual character traits or specific things that had to be set up and established. They can be boiled down into just a moment and then factor in as an individual word themselves in the larger phrase of the larger trait that's being explored or the larger story that's being explored. Really interesting. And then yeah, the ED is, well, the lyrics are pretty straightforward and no less interesting because of it. All right, so decision point. Am I gonna watch another episode? I'm not. I decided about 15 minutes ago while recording. I'm not. I'm done. My brain is frazzled at this point. It's just really hot. It's like I'm gonna have to figure out a way to be able to like have my air conditioner running and record. I did a couple of test recordings a couple days ago, and there's a little hum in the background, which I'm not a big fan of. But it's, what is it right now? Refresh my weather app. Yep, 101 degrees Fahrenheit right now. So it's hot. And even if I air condition the room, it takes about 20 minutes before it's hot again. So gonna have to start doing that eventually. But we'll figure it out when we get there. I'll see what I can do in terms of like noise reduction to cut out those frequencies. Maybe get good product, good recordings. Anyway, as you can see, I'm kind of frazzled at the moment. Sorry. So let's wrap this up. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Nekomonogatari Shiro, episodes 1 and 2 of 5. We will finish the whole arc next time. Okay? Okay. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. If you want to get the next one and you're watching this on YouTube, next one will be up on Patreon. Links in the description. Check it out. And hope to catch you in the next one. Peace.